everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share more of the Good Life papers and stickers with you, and I'm going to scrapbook some pictures from when we lived in Tennessee. Okay, so these are the Good Life papers, and hang on to those scraps that you have because I'm going to create this layout, and it's mostly from scraps. It's pattern number 3 from Make It From Your Heart Volume 6. And the pictures that I'm going to scrapbook are from a day trip that my husband and I took to tour the Jack Daniels distillery in Lynchburg, Tennessee. So these are some of the pictures that we took, and it's the beginning of the tour. And then stay tuned, I'll have another video for the keg room and tasting and so on and so forth. So to be continued. All right, so this is the first part, and I'll be creating a companion layout to that single layout from Make It From Your Heart Volume 6. So I'll show you how to do that. All right, so I'm going to leave most of the cutting in. I'll speed things up in a second, but this layout is basically consists of several 2x2 squares, and then some of those squares are cut on the diagonal like this one here. So just put it in your trimmer corner to corner and then trim it up and you'll get your little triangles. So I'm just following the pattern, and it shows you where to put each piece, and because all of the papers coordinate, you can pretty much choose whatever you like and they're going to work. As long as they're from the same collection. So all these patterns can create this layout. All right, so I'm just placing things. It's kind of like a puzzle, just placing things where they're supposed to go. And I'll tighten things up after I get all the pieces cut. So then I'm going to go in here and cut some more 2x2s. And I'll speed this up now. So just creating some 2x2s. I'll show you how I've laid out all of these pieces, and then off camera I'll go ahead and adhere them all. And they're all going to go down with tape runner, and then I'll go back and tidy things up and add little drops of glue on the corners to make sure they don't stick up and catch when you're putting them in a page protector. And I'll do all that off camera. So I'm just laying things out again according to the pattern. And there's about a 1/4 inch strip in between. My base pages are the light side of mist. It was a rainy, chilly day in January, and it had been raining and raining for a long time. And this day was just like all the others. And actually, 2 months after we toured, it rained really bad, and I have pictures of that same area by the statue. We're underwater like at least 6 inches, if not more. The water was all the way up to the rock, the base of where the statue is, and just pouring down. So it was more like a pond where that area is, where it was sidewalk, and pretty crazy. So I'm going to continue on here and cut more 2x2 squares, and it's deciding between that whitewashed wood grain look and this mocha polka dot, and I decided the polka dot would pop a little bit better. So just cutting more squares and adding them in the spots where they should, and then I'll tighten things up here and the pattern will take shape. Move everything up, and then, like I said, off camera I'll go ahead and adhere everything down. So that's the basic pattern, and then I'm going to make a companion piece. So I'm going to continue with those squares and diamonds, and my base again is going to be the light side of mist, and I'm going to start out by cutting a square at 8.5 inches square, and then on top of that I'm going to bring in this whitewashed piece, and then I'm going to cut that a 1/4 inch smaller. So that's 8 1/4 inches square. I managed to find a remnant, so I didn't have to cut a fresh piece here. Always looking for those scraps. Use those up first if I can. And then I'm going to bring in another piece of toffee. And then I'm going to cut this at 10.5 inches square. And that mocha polka dot piece will go on top of that. I'll bring that in. And you could gut these pieces to save cardstock, but I'm taking the easy way and just layering everything on top. I'm okay with that. So I'm cutting the mocha piece at 10.25 inches square. And then once I got things all layered up here, I decided that instead of using that toffee under that whitewash piece, I want it to bring in some harbor. So I'm going to cut that at 8.25 inches square, and then I'll use that toffee piece on something else. Thought that brought things together better, made that whitewash piece pop, and I'm good with that. Okay. So then I'm going to lay my pictures out, just kind of take a look and see what they're looking like. And then off camera, I'm going to cut some mats. So I'm going to use the Dark Side of Mist for mats. And then for the 5x7 picture on the large panel, I'm going to cut a piece of white daisy and then matted that with mist. And then I'm going to continue to define those mats by inking around the edges. So I'm doing tone-on-tone inking. I'm using the Dark Side of Mist cardstock and then inking around the edges with mist ink. So I'm going to do that for all the panels and also for the base pages. Okay, so I'm finishing up here, getting everything adhered, and then I'm going to keep it in here and ink around the edges of that base page. So I'm just doing the outer edges. So when they're butted up against each other, they'll look like a continuous 12x24 with that inking just around the outer edges. Just to give them a little more definition and grunge them up just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna adhere those large panels on the right side. Just putting everything down with tape runner. We'll lay them out. This one has even edges of mist all the way around. And then we'll layer in that next panel on a diagonal. So it's a big diamond. Get that down. And then I have matted and popped all of my photos with foam tape. And so they're all set to go. So I'm just going to follow the dimensions on the pattern and line everything up. And then I'm going to add that large picture on the right panel and make it even with the 3x4s. So visually it's a continuous line. So just lining everything up. I'm using the measurements on my Versamat, and we'll get everything down. And then we can start decorating. Okay, so now I have my stickers, and then I have the die cuts from The Good Life. So I pulled the You and Me die cut, and then some of these little banners in the wood grain. And then I like to cut my stickers from the carrier sheet so I can kind of play with them before I actually stick them down. So I've got some of the word stickers and some of the banners. And then I've taken a piece of this tin roof pattern paper so that I can lay it underneath the you and me so you can see it. Okay, so this is an old stamp set and it's retired. It's called Limited Edition. I believe it's from 2011. It's really old. I'm not positive. It might be a little bit newer than that. But anyway, it's not available anymore, but it's got this little journal box that I like. And so I've stamped it out in Harbor on some of the mix-in papers from September, October. This one kind of looks like cement. And then I'm going to grunge it up a bit by adding some color with a blending brush. And I'm kind of making it similar to that sticker that's on the sheet, but the sticker has the windmill, and I didn't want that image on this layout. So I'm kind of sort of mimicking that image. And then I trimmed it up around the edges there. And I've done my journaling off camera with a gray Le Pen. And now I'm just kind of laying things out. And I have printed this image of a bottle of Jack from, I just pulled it off of Google and printed it on photo paper. And now I'm going to fussy cut it and create kind of a little ephemera out of it. So I'm going to trim this up. And then I'm going to pop this with some foam tape. And just kind of deciding where I want to place it. And then I decided that I wanted to define that journal box just a little bit more. So I'm going to bring in my blending brush again. Just kind of playing with all my little elements first. And then I'm going to trim up my stickers. Figure out where I want each of the stickers. And now I'm going to bring that blending brush in and I'm going to add a little bit of mist ink and just create kind of a wash in that area where my journal box is going to be. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and add that with some tape runner, and then we'll add our stickers. And then with the banners, I pulled one of the wider ones. I'll use the skinny ones on the other side. And just tuck those under my large picture and layer them up. And then that wood grain banner I'll add with a glue dot. I'm just kind of layering them together. Creating a embellishment cluster right there. Okay, now we'll work on the right page. And it was off camera, but I added the you and me with some wet glue on top of that strip of pattern paper, and then I'll add the whole thing with tape runner. And I'll center that under the large picture. And then I'll add some stickers. So I'm going to do a little surgery to one of these stickers because it's really it's an arrow rather than a banner, and I want it to be a banner. So I'm just going to trim it up and create my own banner. So just cut vertically and then take each corner to meet that snip. And then I'll shorten it so it fits under there. And I can use that other side for something else. So I'm going to create another little embellishment cluster, and I'll add that wood grain banner with a glue dot. And then I'll add some more of these sentiment strips underneath the you and me. And then to finish it up, I dug into my stash, and these are super old. You may remember them. They're called Durables, and they're just kind of grungy metallic circle. Well, they're not really circles. They're kind of, I don't even know what they're like a divot. No, I don't know what they're called, but they're cool looking. So I'm going to scatter a bunch of those around. And you could certainly use pearls or, some other kind of embellishments in place of those. So check your stash. All right, so here's some close-up shots. And I'll make a list of all the supplies that I used with links in the description below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And stay tuned. Next week, I'll have a continuation of this little excursion and pictures of the keg room and tasting. And thanks for watching.